Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome into the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be playing in this brand new Tier 8 Swedish heavy tank known as the Bofors Tornvagn. Now, for any of you non-eagle-eyed people out there, because you should pretty easily be able to tell, I am not in World of Tanks Blitz. Well, the 99% of the time I do post Blitz content, every now and then I see something from the big brother, and I'm like, you know what, this looks really cool. I want to make a video on it. And, well, this tank, I just had to. It's the brand new Christmas event vehicle. I got lucky enough out of the 2.5% drop chance to get it, and now I'm going to be doing not really a review, but just some terrible gameplay because I'm not great at World of Tanks, and as well talk a bit about the tank. But man, is this a weird design. It's like you get a Concept 1B, and then you combine it with a Tornvagn, and this is what you get. It's a ridiculously strong hull-down beast. The main reason why anybody would ever want to drive this tank is all strictly down to the armor. The gun is absolutely horrific, and same for the mobility, but the armor, oh man, is this thing insane. So the weakest part on the upper plate is 263 thick, and if you angle that correctly, you can get that upper plate to around 273, which is pretty strong when you think about it, fully hauled down, and yeah, that 280 millimeters is going to be bouncing basically any shells. Even premium shells from an ML 1 has no chance of cutting through this vehicle. Not to mention the upper plate is super steep, so you're just going to be getting any auto ricochets there. And the turret, I mean, the weakest spot on the turret is 280 millimeters. That means if you're fully hauled down, this vehicle is upwards of 475 on the roof, and the lower part as well is 318. Obviously, auto ricochets all over the side, but you definitely want to make sure that you are not showing your enemies the side of your turret, because 91 millimeters thick, oh yeah, that is just not amazing. Now, it does have some weak spots on the sides here. This is not tracks. This is actually armor here, and yeah, it's only about 250 thick. But thankfully, you can angle this vehicle and get it to be quite strong, especially if you're hull down. I mean, nothing is going to be cutting through that. Now, unfortunately, when you do play against tier 10s, most of them can just cut right through the turret. So let's say it's a Tornvagn. Yeah, you can just load premium shells and go through that turret. But you can clearly see that it is a very hard tank to penetrate, and hull down, this is definitely going to be one of the strongest tier 8s in the game. Obviously, while the armor is incredibly strong, at least frontally, there are going to be some massive downsides to balance out the vehicle apart from the armor. And oh yeah, does this tank have some big downsides at that. Its gun is just outright terrible. I mean, it does have some good statistics going for the gun. Its penetration is actually the same as the T-34. So it's got 248 millimeters of standard pen and 297 on the premium. Also, it shoots only APCR, making it incredibly nice on the penetration. So the gun is good on that aspect. You will be penning a lot of your shells. Unfortunately, when it comes to the accuracy, oh, it's sitting at 0.4. 0.4 accuracy is not going to get you very far. I mean, that's the same accuracy as an FE-25B183 in World of Tanks Blitz. So, good luck snapping any shells, you're not going to be. Now, obviously, you can be running improved ventilation, and you can get all of your stuff better. You can make the dispersion probably down to 0.36 or maybe 0.37, but that's still nothing amazing. This is not going to be an accurate tank by any means unless you sacrifice everything for that accuracy. Mobility, it only goes 31 kilometers per hour, making this an incredibly slow tank as well. So it's really just not an enjoyable tank. It's slow, its DPM is awful, and its accuracy is terrible. And, I mean, apart from the armor, there's nothing enjoyable I can really tell you about this tank. I've played it for about an hour myself. This is not my replay because I haven't gotten any fantastic games out in it. And from the hour I've played it, I've averaged about maybe 1,500 damage. Nothing incredible. I'm not the best player on PC, but, I mean, I really just haven't been able to do much in this tank because it can't really do much. Its penetration is really nice, and the armor, it can work well. On a scenario like this, when you have enough pen, if you load premium to cut through like that Tiger's upper plate, and when you have enough armor to literally bounce anything hull down, that is amazing. I mean, that King Tiger literally has no chance of cutting through this guy. In a matchup like this, the Tornvagn is ridiculous. This guy will bounce every shell without a shadow in the doubt. I mean, literally just every time he will be getting bounces, which is great. It's a fantastic feeling. So in a scenario like this, you are a powerhouse of a tank. You don't have to worry about anything really penning you until they are able to push on you. But in another scenario, because you have such bad DPM and your armor is quite weak once you have it exposed, the enemy, which is ever so closely getting over to this guy, is going to cut through him quite easily. But 2 shots out already, and that's 858 damage. I don't think this tank is bad at all. I mean, if you can get it into a hull down scenario, it is insane because nothing can pen you. But once you have your hull exposed, that is when the shells are going to start ring-a-ding-dinging on your vehicle. Already blocked 470 damage, and oh, you better start backing up or just getting yourself in a scenario where you're going to be able to bounce shells. Now, one fantastic thing about this tank is that it actually has a very troll upper plate, because as you can see, all of these shells are hitting the middle skid bar. People don't realize that that is actually the strongest part on the front, and that the lower plate is where you want to shoot, apart from that IS-5. That guy did shoot it. But yeah, the Tiger C, when it comes to the AT-7, shooting that upper part, you're not going to pen that. Unless you're loading premium shells and you're in a tier 9 or even a tier 10, you're not going to be cutting through that in your average tier 8. So let's see, get a nice shell to that. Oh, you really shouldn't have taken that shell, my dude. That was not a very nice shell. Should be loading premium shells and just buttering through the upper plate of that King Tiger. But we'll see what he can do here. I haven't watched this replay because I wanted to keep it a surprise for myself. So nice tracking shell there, blocking as well the shot from the IS-5, blocking more damage from the King Tiger. Already 1,700 damage blocked yourself. And, you know, thinking about it, this is probably going to be a fantastic tank when it comes to face hugging. Ooh, very nice shot, cutting through the side armor of that IS-5. Not only that, but tracking him in place. And his teammate there in the Caliban, while his HE did only roll him at 9 damage, it did end up tracking that IS-5, stopping him in place. So are you going to be able to finish him off? Beautiful shell right into the lower housing of that IS-5, and now sitting at 2,694 damage. That's, you know, it's a pretty good game. I can't really complain. And as well, 1,700 blocked. So let's penetrate that shell. Boom! Thank you very much, good sir, for that extra damage. And now just sitting shy of 3,000. This is why the tank does so well. If you are able to use the armor in a hull down scenario, I mean, it really does feel like you're Superman. Nothing is going to pen you. And unless they do try driving over the ridge and exposing their hulls to your tank to pen you, you're going to be fine. But that's where the downsides do occur. It's slow, which means once you get into a position, you're kind of stuck there the rest of the battle. I mean, I was playing a game and literally a T110E3 was out-maneuvering me. That's pretty sad. But at least the gun has very nice pen. That's one thing I do like about the vehicle, is the penetration kind of makes up for the poor DPM. Because a lot of tier 8s, when you don't have pen, you just kind of feel useless, especially when you're in a tier 10 game. If you physically cannot pen the opponent you are up against, your DPM is obviously mitigated to 0. For this tank, you don't need to worry too much about that. When your DPM is terrible, but you've got plenty of pen, at least you are going to be cutting through the enemy armor, maybe slowly, and maybe surely, but you are going to be cutting through it. So this game's pretty good. I mean, 3,700 damage dealt and 2,440 blocked. You can see that face-hugging wise, it's great. Honestly, if you're face-hugging big, tall vehicles, you'll be fine. But you do need to worry about the roof. The roof is only about 40 millimeters thick on some parts, which, yeah, that's not great. So you do got to be careful. But other news about the roof, you can see that is not a cupola. That is a completely flat surface. So you can't be penned on the roof, really, apart from overmatching it with 3 calibers rule. It really is a stupid, stupid vehicle. Personally, I'm probably not going to drive it much. I managed to get the Skoda T56 out of the loot boxes as well, and as we know, the Skoda T56 is one of the strongest performing tier 8s currently in World of Tanks PC. So this is a strong tank. It's a great tank, but it's also extremely boring. And not only just me, but I mean, I watched Quickie Baby's review on it. He completely hates this tank. It feeds into one of the most toxic playstyles in the game. It says, haha, you can't pen me. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to ruin your entire battle by making you basically not able to do anything to me. And at the same time, haha, my game's going to be boring because I can't do anything. Nice shell into the GW Panther. And I will say artillery, even though that was a very close miss, artillery will completely ruin your day. But even though this player was finished off at the end of the game, pretty solid battle to showcase everything this tank is good at. Its armor is truly amazing when you are able to really use it in scenarios that are going to work well. As long as you don't expose that lower plate, you are basically He-Man. As well, the gun, very nice penetration. Honestly, I think this guy could have done a lot better if he had just loaded premium shells and started penning these guys in the upper plate, like the Tiger 2. But apart from that, really a good game, 2,440 blocked, and this is one of the best battles so far that has come out on the tank. So, I like it. It's fun, but I also hate it because it's toxic. Let me know what you guys think about this tank in the comments down below. Do you like the Tornvagn? Would you like it to come into World of Tanks Blitz? Or would you like to stay very, very far away? Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!